Hey everyone, welcome to Remap. My name is Jared, and today we're going to be talking spoilers for Persona 5 Royal. While I was writing my review of Persona 5, I realized it was going to be pretty long, and I thought it'd be a little bit easier for everyone if I split things up between my review and my spoiler segment. And if you couldn't tell by the title, this episode is going to be full of spoilers for Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, so if you have not played this game, have a nice day. Go listen to my review of it. This is not an episode for you. It's a truly special game that's best and really only enjoyed blindly. And with that out of the way, as always, these are my opinions and mine alone. So when I started playing Royal, I was excited to see how it was different from the base game. You know, all I knew about it was that there was an additional semester, as well as some new confidants I had to talk to. And there were some changes here or there I noticed, but for the most part, they made the game better. You know, as I'm playing through it, I was playing through it, I was like, oh, wow, well, this is a little bit improved. You know, fleshing out mementos a bit. A welcome change. And actually giving you the option to spend time with Akechi made that confidant so much better. You know, instead of just being shoehorned into, oh, you're going to spend time with this guy, you get to actually choose to spend time with him, even though we all know everyone's going to go spend time with him anyway. But just that illusion of choice, it makes it better. You know, playing a little pool with him, it's a nice time. But probably the biggest quality of life improvement was the reduced number of bedtimes, courtesy of Morgana. And if you haven't played the game, you're not going to know what the heck I'm talking about. And then again, you shouldn't be listening to this if you haven't played the game. And the new music, it felt right at home. You know, I didn't know if the new music would feel a little out of place, but no, it fit in right with that Persona 5 vibe. Ideal and the Real is probably my second favorite Palace theme, behind Whims of Fate, of course. And Take Over grew on me way more than I was expecting it to. Although I did find myself purposefully failing ambushes every so often, just so I could hear Last Surprise. All this to say, I was having a great time replaying the game, connecting with the characters once again, until I hit it. Until I hit the worst palace in the game. And you all know what I'm talking about. I legitimately do not understand how Atlus took a look at Okumura's palace and said, yep, everything's fine, let's ship it. That boss fight was even more infuriating than I remember. The most idiotic, just stupid boss fight I have ever seen. You know, a timer on a turn-based game is the single dumbest thing I've ever seen. Not a turn timer. Wow, that would make too much sense. But an actual clock counting down that does not pause during actions. You know what that means? Oh, you want to buff your team? Watch this long drawn out animation as the timer continues to go down. If I want to buff my party's accuracy and defense, well, good luck. There's like 2.5 minutes gone. So now you're going to have to panic the rest of the... It's such a stupid fight that I do not have anything positive to say about it. There's nothing positive about Okumura's palace except for Haru. So it's not nothing. It's a little something. The little pearl in an ugly clam. That's what it is. But what saves the game, what brings you back in, is they follow up that disaster with not only my favorite palace, but in my opinion, the climax of the story. Every single thing about Nijima's palace works. The design, the music, the mechanics, and the knowledge that this is where you get caught up with the intro. You know, you have no clue what's coming next. You go, hey, this is where he got grabbed. This is where Joker got grabbed. What's going to happen next? Everything up to this point has just been a recollection, a little memory. Oh, here's what happened. We're in uncharted territory now. But it's just perfect. That the big twist is not, oh, Akechi's bad. You know, a blind person would have seen that from a mile away. It is not subtle at all. But that the Phantom Thieves knew all along and absolutely played that man. It's just great. And whenever Ryuji says, "We got him" at the end of that cutscene, all I can think of is, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Like that's that emotional satisfaction of just, oh, y'all blew it. We got it. You know, I remember the first time I played through Persona 5, you know, putting the pieces together in my head during that cutscene, and when it clicked, it was just like, oh man, this is just great. This is just great. And that climax, it launches you towards the ending of the base game. And, you know, I really love the escalation of Persona 5, you know, in terms of the enemies. You go from, hey, your PE teacher might be abusing some students. Let's try and make the world a little bit of a better place. To, okay, go kill God. Yeah. It's literally, that is literally the game. The whole joke of step 1, rescue a cat, step 99, kill God. That's Persona 5. That's, if you wanted to sum up in a very spoilery sense Persona 5 to someone, that's how you do it. And it's just great because the fact that it actually makes sense when you're playing it, it's just hilarious. You know, if you just had those two little pieces, rescue a cat and kill God, how the heck would you connect the two? But if you play the game, you're like, oh well, no, it actually works together. They connect in a straight line, which is it's just hilarious. But when I finally got through the base game and I got, you know, past Christmas to New Year's Eve, I was excited because the fun of not knowing what is next was back. You know, I was playing through the whole game. I knew what was going on. At times I was real into it. At times I was like, you know, I've seen this before. Let's just get through this. Especially no Kumara's. But getting to the new year, getting to that turn to the DLC, I'm just like, oh man, what's coming next? And I really enjoyed Maruki's Palace. I know some people enjoyed it, some people didn't. But I really enjoyed it. And especially the villain of Maruki, because he's not a bad guy per se. Like, you saw his line of thinking. He was making people happier. He has a very clear mindset, and it's not, oh, I'm going to take over the world. It's like his goal was to end suffering. That's a pretty noble goal. But I disagreed with him completely, of course. A fake reality does not solve the world's problems. He would say it would. And I would respond with, well, the challenges, the hardships, all those aspects of life are what make your success meaningful. It's what makes life meaningful. And it's nice having that, you know, little 10-minute philosophical discussion during a video game. Yeah, it's a little treat. A little sprinkle on top. But it was brutal breaking your teammates out of the false reality. Because they looked just so happy, but you knew it was wrong. You knew you had to break them out. It was just brutal. But during this whole thing, I mean, having Akechi be there was really the perfect ally during this. And I got to give credit to Atlas. I thought he was pretty boring in the base game. Was one of my favorite confidants and favorite people in Royal. Like, what a great character. And then, you know, spoilers, but this is all spoilers. At the end, when you find out he's still dead, that caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. And I also wasn't expecting the whole Sumire Kasumi thing. Like, that got crazy. The DLC was just all over the place. They realized that after the base game and how the heck that ended, they said, you know what? People don't care if we make it crazy, so let's keep making it crazier. But probably my favorite part of the DLC was that they decided to play Rivers in the Desert more. I'm just so happy that they finally went, hey, one of the best songs in the game is played during one encounter. Let's use it a little bit more. Let's try it out. And I think my favorite moment in the entire game was in this DLC. It's when the Phantom Thieves return to help Joker and Akechi after breaking out of the false reality, because not only is it an awesome moment, you know, your team's back, Rivers in the desert's blaring. It's that feeling of just the squad is back. These are not amateurs anymore. These are real professional Phantom Thieves. You know, it's your first big fight after the whole Holy Grail fight. You know, these are not scrubs. These are experienced people. And just getting into that fight and just getting back in the swing of things after, you know, a couple hours of the DLC intro was just a great feeling. I do have some gripes about the ending though. You know, changing the final cutscene and removing With the Stars in Us really feels like a federal crime. Like the ending cutscene was perfect. That song was perfect. Why do you take it out? But I understand they needed a new ending with how the DLC ended. And the closure of everyone, you know, setting out on their own path made the characters feel, you know, more real. And I did enjoy that. But, you know, finishing up the game, you've got the incredible new date scene, which is just that's just a treat. Joker's he's a man of style. What can I say? But walking through the city and talking to the confidants for the final time, right before you move back home, might be the most cathartic experience from any game. Because after well over 100 hours, these characters mean something. And it's the end of your journey. And that emotional connection, that just, wow, this is it. That's the hallmark of a great game. Being able to sit down at the end and actually have to take some time to just mentally cope with yourself because you just finished an incredible experience. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Remap, the gaming podcast. My name is Jared, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.